Now, listen up.
3, 2, 1.
It's showtime.
That's great. This is ridiculous.
99.3 The Truth.
You can't handle the truth right now.
Ooh.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Let's do it.
Hit it.
It's time for Mac's World. And here we go.
Everybody, let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Call Mac 244-0077 or text 809-0993.
It's showtime, everybody! Showtime!
Exclusively on 99.3 The Truth.
It's 3:07 on the 22nd day of July in the third millennium of Jesus Christ. This is Mac's World Live on 99.3 The Truth. Nice to have you here. Fridays. Well, Fridays are supposed to be 15% more fun, and we're going to do our best to do that. However, there is there's just more bad news in the world. And, you know, I know it's over in Munich, Germany, and most of us don't even know where that is. Never been there. Only thing we know about Germany is Nazis, Volkswagens, and beer. But one gunman has opened fire near a shopping mall in Munich, killing several people and wounding several others. The attack shut down traffic, public transportation, etc. Right now, we don't know where the perpetrator or perpetrators are, the Munich police said. Please be careful to avoid public places. Now, can you imagine that? So this happens at Valley West Mall. And not only are we not allowed to get in or go out of the mall, we just have to freeze. Traffic throughout West Des Moines, maybe even into Des Moines, has been shut down. Police say avoid public areas. The police said they received a call at about 6 o'clock Friday. That would be p.m., so they're terribly ahead of us. From someone who reported hearing shots. A video distributed online showed a man dressed in black, apparently armed with a handgun and a rifle, opening fire. The police said that witnesses had reported 3 armed individuals. No verified information yet.
Who said to avoid
the police?
Okay.
The police. The popo man, who I saw at a bank today. Guy just walked in while I was banking. Police uniform. Went up, shook his hand. Told him I'm sorry about everything that's going on. That we got his back. And to ignore those teeny little those weak little voices that seem to get all the oil. You know what I mean? The squeaky wheel gets the oil. And he was appreciative. I don't know if he hears it from a lot of people. Maybe I'm the first guy to tell him that. Maybe he's sick and tired of hearing that. I'm not sure.
I'm wondering how long that policy is, or that warning is going to be in effect, because George W. Bush and Barack Obama both echoed a different sentiment, was don't let the terrorists win, go about your business and not give in to fear. So I'm just wondering if that's how long is that warning good for? Does it say at all?
No, it just says keep them off the streets. Munich police said, please be careful and avoid public areas. Now, you know, this is a half hour after 7 people are dead and other people are wounded. And I just wonder when our country is going to wake up. When this administration is going to understand that Barack Obama took an oath. Of course, he took it under God, so that might be a problem. It may not have meant anything to him. You want to hear something horrible, Chris? So one time I had to testify for something in court, and I knew I wasn't going to tell the truth. And so when I put my hand on the Bible and he said, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I said, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth. Well, what is that again? I promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And I stopped there. I didn't say anything about God because I knew I was about to sin. Now, this was before Jesus mugged me. This was years and years and years ago. But I wonder how that'll be in the videotape of my life when Jesus and I sit down with the remote control and watch those years that Mac roamed the world.
Most of the time, Mac, even the judges, when they swear, when I've been sworn in, they don't say, so help you God.
Right, they don't do that anymore.
They just don't.
Yeah.
And there's no Bible, so you don't swear in the Bible.
What did I put my hand on? I put my hand on some book.
Well, they don't do it now. Maybe you did. That was probably years ago.
Oh, this was probably 2000. This was 16 years ago, probably.
Yeah.
So what authorizes the swear? What authorizes the oath? Your word?
Well, I wasn't swearing to nothing.
They say, do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? That's it.
Yep.
I've heard it so many times.
Wonder what would happen if I would have just said, no. No, I don't.
Then you'd be held in contempt of court and thrown in jail.
Why would I be held in contempt if I offered that I wasn't going to tell the truth?
They won't let you testify. That means you're
okay,
refusing.
then don't make me testify.
Well, if you're a witness, they can hold you to it.
Okay.
Do you have to agree? I've never been in this situation. Do you have to agree to be a witness?
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no.
So
they
if
subpoena you,
and that's it?
you're in. If you don't honor it, you'll be thrown in jail.
What's that term if you're, it's reluctant witness?
Hostile.
Hostile witness, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so if you know me, don't do anything bad. I don't want to be a witness. It just doesn't sound like a good time. Just a public warning. I don't know if I should tweet that out or anything, you know. If you know me,
that out there.
Just putting that out there. If you know me, don't do anything bad. I don't want to have to go to court.
Because you'll tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I expect I should, and if the person did it, I just say, yeah, he done did it.
He done did it.
He done did it. He's guilty. Put him in the slammer.
So you can't decide that.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
No, I know, but I mean, like, that's the frustrating bit. Because then you're a pawn in the. I'm. You know, they never select me for jury duty. I'm just. I'm. No. I get out of it all the time. Not because I'm trying to, just because I would not be a good juror. I don't know that I'm all that fair.
You have a bias.
I do. I think people are guilty.
Go ahead and say
I'm guilty.
Go ahead and say I love Jesus.
Right. Saw a church sign. Said it's so hot, we don't want to change the church sign anymore. So it just says sin bad, Jesus good. Details inside.
There you go.
That's kind of my philosophy.
So another killing, another shooting. It isn't just me, right? These are happening all the time now, right? Do I just have this higher sense of awareness?
Well, no. I mean, you're not getting this stuff telepathically. I mean, it's being distributed, right? The news sources, people report this stuff more. I'm not saying that it's not being reported previously and it's being reported more now. I'm just saying that that's what's leading the news stories right now. So that's what gets all the attention. And so it's difficult for us to avoid it. You have to be intentional to remove yourself from some of this noise.
Well, being almost 6 decades old and the media not being what it used to be, I can say just in the last, for sure, 10 years, and I've been a pretty avid follower of 24 Hours News Network since CNN came out in the early 80s. Yes, this stuff is happening at more of a frequent rate. It used to happen maybe once every 6 months. Now this stuff is literally happening on a daily basis.
Well, we're also in an information age, and I mean, my phone, I get news blasts all the time. I'm alerted to it. So, we're in an information age that we can get it right away, so we know what's going on. And the world is, just a click away to know what's going on.
But see, that's my point, Bob. Is it because we have that information so available to us that we're more aware of these, or
Yes.
are there more of them coming?
I think both.
Okay.
And I would suggest that because of the instant access of that social media part of it, that is what's creating a lot of it, because you know that you can instantaneously get your name out there if you do something horrendous.
Is it ethical to intentionally ignore this kind of news? Do you think it's right for us to say, you know what? I'm sorry that's happening in Munich. It's not my business. It's not happening in my backyard. Is that ethical to just say I don't need to know about that?
Who are you? First of all, who are you? Are you a journalist?
I'm not a journalist, no.
Okay, so are you a radio talk show co-host?
That's up to you, man. I just talk into a microphone occasionally.
Well, my mother and I have this discussion occasionally, and she rarely watches any news whatsoever.
You know, that's another thing you and Bradshaw have in common. You live with your mother.
Okay, Brad don't live with his mother anymore, I don't think.
No, he's moved out. He passed 40.
But the point I'm making is that we're supposed to follow the signs of the time according to the Bible. So we know when certain things happen, like when the fig leaves turn a certain color, that winter's about to happen. So if we're not paying attention to world events, I think it's to our detriment. And I got people that just totally they've got the old nostalgic Happy Days and Sanford and Son and All in the Family and the cooking shows, and they don't get off of those two channels. They don't see nothing. They're not reading a newspaper. They're not seeing nothing. And I think that's to your detriment.
Yeah, well, I need to know when I need to go out and buy food, for 30 days supply of food. You know what I'm saying? Need to know when I need to go get water, bottled water, and stock up, getting ready for the end of the world. You know what I mean? So you got to know that, don't you?
You got to know that stuff.
Yeah.
I would tell you that me concerned, just me and this radio program, which does not need to be any of the four of you. Well, Jeb, you got to be here. But I have to report this. What did you say? Integrity? No. What'd you ask?
I said, is it ethical to ignore some of this?
No,
it's
news? Not ethical for me to ignore it.
But there's a lot of news in the world, right? There's news that you're not reporting. There's news that you're not talking about.
Well, when it's breaking news, when it's all over, when it's the headline, when I walk into Chick-fil-A and on TV, they've got live cameras from CNN on, Munich. That's important. Can't ignore that. All right, first break coming up. A little bit later, a sacred world needs a fearless church. Wait till you hear this. Live here on a Friday in Mac's World. Thanks for listening to The Truth.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Hey everybody, I brought Northern Lights Pizza! And it's got Graziano sausage!
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for the opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
21 minutes after 3:21 in the afternoon. I'm J. Michael McCoy on Max World Live. 22nd day of July in the Lord's third millennium. I keep telling you about that cool guy that I get to work with in buying and selling real estate, Seth Walker, with Rob Spearman's RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios. He's a great guy. Called me today, found something a little weird on one of the, what do you call them, the affidavits when you sign off. He didn't like the way that looked. I mean, the guy's reading the fine print, so I don't have to. Now, that's a smart guy. Many realtors are professionals. But don't use somebody just because they're in your Bible study or they live down the street. Hire a professional. You hire them. You interview and you hire them. You ask all the questions you want to ask, just as if they're coming into your home to babysit your children, because they are going to take care of the largest purchase you're probably ever going to make. A professional he is, a realtor he is, waiting for your call he is. Seth Walker, 577-3728. All right, 515-244-0077. That's the phone line where your voice could be heard. That's 515-244-0077. 115 degrees was the heat index yesterday. Supposed to be 112 today, and it's supposed to be about 110 tomorrow. So tomorrow at 1 o'clock, I am officiating a wedding outside in a farm field. It's a biker wedding.
Oh, that's a good one.
The guys, guess what kind of tuxes they ordered to wear?
Don't tell me leather.
Yes.
Oh, my.
Yes. The bride asked me the other day, what's the shortest service you could do? I said, I just signed the piece of paper and you're married. Well, I need more than that. I said, hey, y'all okay with these two getting hitched? Yep. Everybody, yay, aye. Now make you man and wife. I mean, I'm not doubting whether this woman is a great guy, great woman too. She doesn't come up to me tomorrow about 5 till 1 and say, get it over with. So I'm not planning any sermon. I'm not planning any homily. I'm not planning anything, any message. I'll get the gospel in there a little bit because I got to do that. But so tomorrow afternoon about 1 o'clock, I want you to think of this fair-haired white boy. This hair is white now, but it used to be red. I was carrot top. And my skin is that of a redhead, you know. So I'm going to be sitting outside, and no, I will not have a suit on. No, I will not have a coat on. I will have black shorts and a black shirt, and that is it. But all in all, this is a wonderful couple. They already have a child together, and they've decided to make it happen. And I'll be very happy to officiate. And then I'm gone. Then I'm heading west, boy, heading west. Back to air conditioning.
Now, you do know that NASCAR has cool suits and helmets. Maybe you could look up one of those.
There you go. Yeah, they've got helmets and suits that cold water runs through.
Dry ice. I believe dry ice runs through the system, and the cool off the ice keeps your head cool.
Hey, boss, could I have one of those for the studio? Have a dry ice suit where I just sit here?
Hey, sure. The rest of us can be, comfortable.
And then we can be uncomfortable. Yeah. I've gotten accustomed to the cold studio. What is it in here now?
68.
68 degrees inside this studio.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. If you're driving right now, I apologize. Bet your car isn't that cool.
I don't know. It's not that warm it's not that cool in here. I mean, 68 is not that cool. For me, at least.
No, it's been like 63.
Well, compared to outside, I can't get in the AC in my car to get down to, it's hot. Thing's blowing full blast just when I drive a couple blocks. But
I do have a text about violence.
Yay, violence. Oh, wait. No,
weren't we talking about
We
violence?
were talking about violence, yes, in Munich.
Right. Here it is.
This is a text?
A text.
From the Service Legends Truth text line at 515-809. Man, Jeb's good. 0993.
Boy, he is.
I mean, before I can get it out of my mouth, it's up on the television screen.
Okay, it says violence increases when there is an increase in situations where people feel they are not being listened to.
Yep.
In 1968, it was the Vietnam War, and that was a violent summer. This year, it is Black Lives Matter and immigration.
No, Bob, that's not true. You know that Bernie Sanders said global warming is the cause for this violence.
Did he really?
Yes.
I missed that.
Wait a minute.
I missed that.
Yes, but he draws a straight line between global warming and the frustration of people. So he's not just saying because it's hot, people are shooting people.
Well, yes.
He's saying that the climate changing is creating circumstance in which people are frustrated, their situation is becoming bleak, and they're retaliating. Although my guess is the person in Berlin or in Munich with a gun, you know, I don't know what his economic state was.
No. Who does?
Does anyone? Do we need to know?
Well, you know, people are brainwashed to think certain ways. You know, there's a lot of stories in history showing people that are being influenced by certain people in this world.
Yeah. So what do you think about that question I asked a little bit earlier, Bob? Should we concern ourselves with stories like this, what's going on in Munich? So you live in Clive, I live in Urbandale. We live in the Des Moines metro area.
Well, we know it's the same group that's doing this all over the world.
Right.
So the concern would be, when are they going to continue to strike us, and where is that going to be? Because they're not limited to just Europe. They're worldwide, and they're going to do things basically to the West.
Well, Chris, here is a larger question that a lot of my libertarian friends ask.
Okay.
Is the corporate media structure the puppet master that is telling us what to care about by the stories that they emphasize?
You're a good Arminian. You've got free will. You can choose to listen to and read and focus on anything you want to. In fact, the Apostle Paul admonishes us. He says at the end of Philippians, his final exhortation to the church at Philippi, rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. So are these things praiseworthy, but they're true? They are true. This is truthfully happening. It's not praiseworthy, though.
No, but it's biblical. You know, in this world there will be trials and tribulations.
Yeah, there will be.
Then again,
wars and rumors of wars.
Wars and rumors of world.
See, I think that's one of the problems. I'm just going to say this.
Yeah, say it.
As a guy who's been hanging around with Jesus for a little over 5 years now. 5 years, 2 days ago. 5 years and 2 days. One of the things that I have always had an issue with people who follow Jesus, Christians, is they don't want to hear the bad news. They don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it. We know how the book ends. God saves. Me. Hand over ears, hand over eyes, hand over mouth. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. Now, do you agree?
Do I agree that people don't want to hear bad news? Yes.
Well, no, that's not true. There are a lot of people who want bad news. There are a lot of people who like to watch train wrecks.
Yes, there are.
They wait for train wrecks, and they suck the life out of train wrecks.
Is that why people like to go see NASCAR? Because they want to look for crashes and wrecks?
I don't know.
Ask
Mr. NASCAR.
There is a certain percentage that do that. They want to see wrecks.
I do. I want to see wrecks. To
me, that's the most interesting part.
Yeah, my wife will walk downstairs. How's the race? Well, it could have been a green light race at high record speeds, and I'll say, nah, we haven't any wrecks.
Well, that depends on whether you want to go to a baseball game and see a no-hitter. You want to see a pitcher pitch a no-hitter or see a home run fest.
I'd love that.
What would you rather have, a no-hitter?
I would enjoy. I love the drama of baseball, so I would love a no-hitter. I would just love watching that pitcher just get up in the air. Oh, it gets me excited just thinking about it.
Here's a thought, because
but home runs are fun too.
Well,
right?
Here's a thought for Chris, because he follows the career of, what is it, Penn Jillette?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I follow the career.
Well,
of
no, I
Gillette.
don't.
He periodically comes up on my social media feeds
okay.
as a great atheist to admire and look at and listen to.
Not trying to make it sound that way, but the point is in someone who is a magician, there's something called sleight of hand.
Yes.
And if you Google on the internet, there's a various number of news sites that are more of an underground nature that tell us, Google sometime the top 10 stories the media refuses to report on or that the media ignores. And what they're trying to imply is it's a sleight of hand thing. Watch this, but don't really watch this. So, again, I just reemphasize the question. Does anybody think, does the callers think, does anybody out there have the idea that the corporate puppet masters are telling us as common folk what we should bite on in the media?
Sure. Let me give you a good example. Can I give you a good example? Can I give you a good example?
I don't know. Can you?
See what I did there with a joke? Here's a news story I'm going to read later on, so I'll just get to it. Microsoft has announced they plan to invest $1.5 to $2.5 billion in its third West Des Moines data center, making it the company's largest in the United States. Microsoft could build these data centers anywhere in the world, but they've chosen our city, now in 4 different counties for their investment. West Des Moines Mayor Steve Gare said during a press conference.
Why? Why us? Does it say?
I can tell you why. I don't know if it's.
Will we charge them property tax?
Oh no, they get tons of property tax breaks. They don't employ very many people.
Right. This takes up a lot of land, a lot of resources, not a lot of employment, not a lot of property tax. Something to consider. Are we really that excited about it just because it sounds cool? We've got a Microsoft data farm.
You'd have to look. One big cloud? Is that all it is?
Yeah.
So
it's rooms after rooms after rooms of data.
So what's that called?
Yeah.
Tax abatement? Is that the term?
Yeah. This one is going to be built in Madison and Warren counties, but West Des Moines plans to annex it. Here's the point that I want to make towards the story.
Okay.
Anybody know what happens at a Microsoft data center? Who runs that?
Microsoft.
And what do they do there?
They store data. I believe the one that is near our friends at Willow Creek Church, I was told that that's where most of your Xbox data is stored. So people that play Xbox Live games, all their saved games, all the data for that stuff, a lot of that is saved there.
The one out in Altoona is Facebook.
Right.
Yeah, huge.
That's all of our pictures of our kids, of our Pokemon.
Is that the cloud?
Yeah, you could call that the cloud.
Right. The cloud actually is not in the sky. Yeah. It's on the ground in Iowa.
So
really, come on.
What a bummer. Oh, man.
So now I don't have my tinfoil hat on, but some of you are going to say to me, oh, Mac, come on, get your tinfoil hat off. That's just a conspiracy theory. Do you know who owns Facebook? It isn't that screwy little kid that stole it from the other guys.
It's not Mark Zuckerberg?
Is it Bill Gates?
No. Bill Gates owns Microsoft.
Yes.
Well, wait, didn't he sell all his shares? I thought he sold all his shares.
I would hope not. That would be foolish.
515-244-0077 or text us at the Service Legends Truth text line at 809-0993. Who can get it first? Who owns? Who controls? Maybe that's the better word. Who controls Facebook? I'm waiting to hear from you live here at The Truth.
Northern Lights Pizza's amazing garlic butter makes amazing breadsticks. Now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza. I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer. I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Homs.
And I'm the service manager.
Marketing director and client relations manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing. We have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're going to make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
3:38, 22 minutes before the top of the hour, Salem Radio Network News at the top of the hour. And then it's VA. It's us. It's the 5 of us. It's the 5 Musketeers. It's Jebediah. It's Chris Roloff. It's Mac McCoy. It's now Chris is standing up and acting like he's sword fighting.
It's Friday. It's Friday.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
Good job, Jebediah.
Say, we haven't played that
on tape.
Goofy Friday song for a while.
Yeah, and let's not.
Let's not.
Frank is here and Bob is here. And here's the question I asked, and I'm going to go around to each one of you. Mark Zuckerberg, or however you say his name, supposedly is the primary shareholder in a company called Facebook. So I'm not asking who owns it. I said that wrong before. I know who owns it. Who does Facebook serve besides moi?
The government.
Aha.
We voluntarily are allowing the government to spy on us by voluntarily telling them everything we do.
That's right. My mother, who was a Superior Court justice, does not feel that terrorism, illegal aliens, illegal immigration, pot in Colorado, or a pipeline across Iowa is the biggest problem that the future of America faces. It's the lack and the loss of privacy. It's the fact that everybody knows everything about you. I mean, this is sad to say. I'm a journalist. So back in the 60s and 70s, when I was studying journalism, a lot of what we studied was how to get information. Go to the police department at 4 a.m. and look through the police logs. Listen to the scanners to find out what's going on with the police. Have informants. Remember, who was the guy in Starsky and Hutch? Teddy Bear? Mama Bear?
Huggy Bear.
Huggy Bear. Huggy. Do you know Starsky and Hutch there, Jebediah? Of course
No,
not.
he's too young.
So when they wanted to know something what was going on the street, they went out and found Huggy Bear.
Yep.
And they'd harass him a little bit, or it looked like they were harassing him in public. So I would have people in all the, I'd have somebody at Pioneer, and I'd have somebody at Casey's, and I'd have somebody over at Tone Spices, and
informants
down at the register, and wherever I wanted them, and they'd just let me know what was going on. Now my job is so easy, I just turn on Facebook.
Starsky and Hutch would say, "What's the word on the street?"
What's the word on the street?
Huggy Bear.
It is, and now everybody's become an amateur journalist, which I'm okay with, I guess. I don't really care. I mean, it's still the quality of the writing. It's the scoop. I'm working on an op-ed for the Des Moines Register right now, and I can literally sit at a computer and gather my sources, have those sources send me their quotes for the article, and I never have to leave my chair. And I can copy and paste and change the font, and there's a 600-word op-ed done. Where if I had to do that, or when I did that 20 years ago, oh my gosh.
Click,
I'm going over here, I'm calling here, I'm picking up the phone, I mean, life's a lot easier.
And you're using a manual typewriter.
No, I'm not. Not anymore.
No, I mean then.
Yeah, then. Oh, yeah. Chris, you were going to say?
Oh, I was just trying to answer your question. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by the government controls Facebook. I'm not sure what you mean by that.
All right, let's
Mark Zuckerberg still has the majority shares.
Right. Let's give you an idea here.
Okay.
So, do I work for you?
No.
Do you control me?
No.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I'm sorry, everyone. I've let you down.
If you, and this is out of respect, but if there's something going on the radio that you don't like, you come in and tell me.
Sure, I'm responsible for protecting our license.
Right, and then you're a kind enough man that you let me make the decision on whether I want to move forward. But most of the time, maybe all the time, most of the time in the last 5 years, Chris, you're the boss.
Sure, you voluntarily do that,
okay.
Though, yeah. Uh-huh.
So that's the way Facebook controls, or that's the way the FBI, and Frank, you can say the government, but let's narrow it down, because I don't want to be a low information voter. It's the FBI. It's the FBI who is all over Facebook. And why wouldn't they be? Don't blame them. Facebook makes their job so much easier.
Okay, but why aren't they getting these guys that are plastered all over Facebook, these potential terrorist plots, why aren't they doing something about them before they...
Okay, that's a good question. Excuse me. Because there are so many weirdos, Frank, on Facebook saying really weird things. I mean, Frank, some of the stuff you post. What? No, all right, hold on. Would you agree that every once in a while there are things you post that if that had been a public poster slapped onto a phone pole in Mayberry in 1960, they'd come looking for you and throw you in the tank because you'd be a threat.
Right. And they're looking for threats now.
Well, listen, J. Edgar Hoover made the brag one time when there was about 250 million people in the United States that he had files on 200 million of them, and he was closing on the other 50 fast. So we've been spied on since the 1960s, and clearly there's some people we need to spy on. We probably need to keep tabs on the Ku Klux Klan and their movements. We probably need to keep tabs on some of the outlaw biker gangs. We probably need to keep tabs on, some underworld type figures. But we are voluntarily, as citizens of the United States, giving out our information. When I was a kid, you never put anything in writing. If you wanted to call...
Could you write?
Well, listen, if you wanted something that you didn't want nobody else to know, you either talk to them in person or you talk to them on a secure phone line. Now we're talking on phone lines that can be hacked, or the information can be hacked. We talk on our computers, the stuff can be hacked, and for sure the FBI is spying on social media.
NSA is spying on everybody. They can go through emails and Facebook posts and look for certain posts. You can do that, and it'll pop up those posts if there's anything that talks about terrorists or whatever. They're looking for those key things, and they're going through every single email they can look at.
Axtel in the 1990s to 2000s, when Clinton was still in office, Clinton was wanting them to design a software program that would track every electronic transaction in this state or in this world, in this country, from a fax to an email to a phone call to whatever. They have been wanting to spy on us. They have been spying on us forever, since they've been spying on us since the Civil War and probably before that. So spying is nothing new.
Yeah, but it's been increased since 9/11.
9/11. Boy, 9/11 gave us permission to do a lot of things we shouldn't do, didn't it?
Patriot Act. Sure.
I'm not so. I was okay with the Patriot Act.
Yeah.
So it was because of 9/11. I would not have been okay with the Patriot Act on 9/10.
Right. Exactly.
Well, and then you have these whacked out theories that 9/11 was an inside job, a false flag, so to speak, to get Americans to voluntarily give up their freedoms, give up their liberties for security. And there's a number of people out there that will say when you give up liberties for security, you will end up with neither.
I think Frank quoted that. I think he was the one that originated that that saying.
I can tell you that if there is somebody out there and they're searching for someone or they want to know something about someone, there are many, many people. I'm not the only one. I'm not that special. But I have skills. I have taught myself skills. I have learned skills and tools. So it's not anything God gave me. It's just what I do. And you probably do it at home. If you want to know something about your neighbor, you want to know something about somebody at work, you want to know something about somebody at church, boom, boom, boom.
99 cents and you get all the information you want.
Yeah, right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, those little things that pop up, the white pages and all that stuff. If you pay for that subscription, holy Toledo.
Well, you
can't believe. I mean, I can get baby pictures of myself if I pay, $1 a month for whatever that.
You can have access to all public records.
Yeah, but what we deemed public in 1960 and what we deem public today is quite different. All right, we're coming up on a break. 13 minutes before 4. Salem Radio Network News, and later, a sacred world needs a fearless church. Yep, coming up live on The Truth.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
Northern Lights Pizza, your home of the tasty crust. Our garlic butter sauce now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common, everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
10 minutes before 4 o'clock, 3:50. 22nd day of July in the Lord's third millennium here on this earth, this broken place. If you're driving down the street, don't close your eyes. But I want to pray for a second. Papa, we have a world that has just come unglued. We have a world that the accuser has run amok. And what used to be right is now wrong, and what was up is down, and what is out is now in. Give us the strength to push back on the lies that the accuser tells us. The lies that says, oh, you're safe, you're okay. The lie the accuser tells us that you can have that phone and you can do all that stuff you want to do. Go play Pokemon. Go play a Ouija board. It's okay. Those are the lies the accuser teaches us. Lord, wrap your arms around us. Put your angels around us to guard us. In the name of Jesus, demons, run. Run and run away from everyone who says Jesus' name now. Amen. All right. So that was an interesting conversation you guys were having when the mics were off. So please have that again, because you proceeded with the conversation about privacy and what the government can and can't see. I think we are all unbelievably naive. I'll even say I'm ignorant. I won't call you ignorant, but I'll say I'm ignorant about exactly what the government can get. Because when I start looking around on the internet, I just did that. Bob, I made a call to you this morning about a person.
Yep.
I did my little LinkedIn, Facebook thing, and now I know everything I want to know.
Right. Not everything, but a lot.
Let me give you
what I want to know.
Let me give you a really good example. Let's say you drop somebody off at the doctor, and you call them and say, I can't pick you up for, 10 minutes late. You call to the doctor's office and ask to get a message to the person you want to get it to. They won't confirm or deny the person's even in the building because of HIPAA laws. Does that absorb in that they can't confirm or deny somebody that you knew that you dropped there off at the office?
Right.
And you just want to get a message to them. So you got to say, well, okay, this person, XYZ person, would you give this message? Well, we can't say we're going to give them the message or not, but we'll take the message. Well, but yet on the internet, you can find divorce records, bankruptcy records, all kinds of things. Well, why isn't that breaking HIPAA laws?
I'll give you an example. There's a guy I know who went to the hospital for something insignificant. And there was a guy there who just kind of passed out, hit his head on the counter on the way down, started bleeding. He had no ID on him. He was probably a homeless person. They put him into emergency, did whatever they did, and they let him go. The next day, the guy came in and said, I just want to know how that man's doing. They couldn't tell him anything. Well, I'm the guy that picked him. Remember? Oh, yeah, we remember who you are. You were awesome. Thanks. But we can't tell you anything. Can you tell me whether he lived or died? I can't tell you anything. And I understand, because I don't want some goofball calling up my doctor and getting, whatever medicines I might be taking, or whatever. Well, for instance, I just had a calcium scoring this past week. And I got to go back to the doctor, and I've got to have some surgery probably. And I don't want somebody from this radio station or any radio station or any news station or any paper to call up and get that information and put it on the radio or on TV or in print, like I just did. I just did that, didn't I? I just put that out there. What a silly man I am. Anyway, so I get the HIPAA laws, Frank. I kind of get those. Because if I, as an employer, could find out that you're schizophrenic and tried to kill your brother, and you're on all kinds of medications, and et cetera, and then I could choose not to hire you because of that, would that be right? Is that okay? Chris, you hire people. Do you want to know what medications they're on? Do you want to know if they're taking Cymbalta, which is a high-end antidepressant, anti-anxiety drug? I mean, people who are on Cymbalta, that is the last medicine that you are allowed to take before you go to lithium. You know what lithium is? Do you know what lithium is?
Yes.
Okay. So if you knew somebody that worked for you was on Cymbalta or on lithium, would that change the way you manage them? Because it better.
Well, I feel like, no offense, guys, love you both. I feel like I'm listening to people talking out of both sides of their mouth, both coming and going.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, because on one hand,
I'm just stating the facts that over here, I'm glad HIPAA can't return or can't put out information about somebody. But on the other hand, if I'm an employer and I've got somebody that works for me that is borderline schizophrenic and on high anxiety and antidepressant medicine, I think I should know that.
Right. So the question is information, what should be known, what shouldn't be known, who should have access to that kind of stuff. And there are lots of government agencies, there are lots of businesses, there are a lot of organizations trying to answer those questions. They're complicated. The issue we were having off mic in the break was that there's a big gap between our medical records and so our social security number, things like that. There's a difference between those things that we don't want to be public, that we have laws protecting those things, and then things that can be known about us that we voluntarily put out there. Mac, your example just a few minutes ago, if you want to know something about someone, you can do a Google search. You can find out all their social media profiles, all that kind of stuff. That's all things they voluntarily put in the public arena. That's something I said, I want this to be known about me publicly. It's fascinating to me how much people are actually comfortable with that now, that they're comfortable with so many things about them being known. You know, that's a generational difference. That's a generational gap. The question has to be, is that scary? Do I care if the federal government knows what I had for lunch today or what I did over the weekend?
Well, for an employer like me, when I have a list of people that we're interested in, you bet I go to Facebook.
Absolutely.
And I look at photos.
Right.
And see what bars they go to or whatever the case is.
Right.
You know, and so that does have an impact, I would say.
It does, but that's stuff people voluntarily put out there, right?
It's silly, isn't it?
It's it is what it is. So there's a difference between that, though, and protecting people, protecting special information, things they want to keep, especially when it comes to medical records.
Right.
Because when it comes to medical records, we're talking about...
Right. You can reject somebody because you found out that they have a heart condition or they've had cancer or whatever.
Right. And that's, that's an ethical discussion.
You remember the PI we had in here a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month, and said all the things he has access to that he can find out on his potential clients or people he's investigating.
Sure.
All right, let's take our top of the hour break. 6 minutes of Salem Radio Network news updating us on the Berlin thing and other stuff going on. And when we come back, A.W. Tozer wrote, it's not a long one, but wrote this nice little blog, this little article called A Sacred World Needs a Fearless Church. Let's talk about that when we come back today, okay? End this Friday on an upbeat, holding hands with Jesus and glorifying God. Right here, live on The Truth.